What's up, guys? This is the Working Class Musician YouTube channel. I'm JimmyRFranklin, and today we're going to answer an age-old question. Is it okay to play someone else's signature model? So for a long time, signature models have been a thing. We've all come in contact with signature models. We've all seen some signature model guitars out there. On one hand, you could really say that the Les Paul was Les Paul's signature model. You have Jackson RRs, which are Randy Rhoads models. Jackson KK, right? The Kerry King model. Acceptable signature models. And I'm sure I'm missing a couple. Please, if you think of one that's okay to play and then you've seen people play and you know is a very popular model, please put it down below. On the other hand, you have things that aren't acceptable to play. Like, let's say, a Sinister Gates, the Brian May Red Special, Angus Young's signature SG. All of these guitars are signature model guitars that when you see someone playing them, they're typically younger. These kids pick up the Sinister Gates model and they just try and play the intro to Backcountry. It's always a mess. And I love it. I love seeing it because it's supposed to happen. And we've all been that kid at some point. But the guitar isn't gonna make you sound like the player, right? I don't think so. If you're that big of a super fan of whatever guitar player, I'm sure you play a lot of music by them. Maybe if you're starting a tribute band, it's a good idea to get these. I know me personally, I've always wanted to have a collection of signature models. I think they're the coolest thing in the world. But then you get into this area of signature models that aren't collectibles. The Joe Bonamassa Flying V comes to mind. I think that's a brilliant, brilliant guitar. It's really great because it doesn't have any ridiculous tags on it. It is just a great looking guitar that plays really well and looks like something he plays and sounds like something he plays. A Guthrie Govan, gorgeous, it's functional. It's one of the most modern 6-string player's player guitars out there. And then you have the AZ line by Ibanez. I'm a pretty massive fan. I have a Ibanez AZ24 Prestige, and I absolutely love that guitar. I play it every single day. But I needed something that would not bust my bank wide open. I realized one day when I went to bring my AZ to the shop that I had nothing else in my guitar arsenal that would stack up against that if I needed it. I hit up my buddy Tad over at Sweetwater. I decided to go with an Ibanez AZ Premium. It's the Scott LePage version from Polyphia. And I'm sure if you're a guitar player watching this, you've crossed paths with the name Polyphia, and you know damn well that they're a force to be reckoned with right now. I figured, what could it hurt? That's gotta be a modern sounding guitar. Get a few different tones out of it. Look at this. And I know I always do this shot right here, but I think it's so deserving. Oh, okay, get a little bit out of that glare right there. Okay, I decided to go with the 22 fret model on this one to test the theory about where the pickups are set. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Scott LePage in one of their rig rundowns references that there is a perfect tone spot where the 24th fret normally goes. Joe Satriani has a mini humbucker on his 24 fret guitar so he can get closer up to the neck and get into that spot on the neck better. It's an interesting concept, so I decided to go with this one. I figured that the most bang for your buck when you came to an Ibanez AZ Premium would be a signature model. And let's just say it, the Scott LePage signature model Ibanez AZ and the Tim Henson, also from Polyphia, are hands down the two best looking signature models in the Ibanez AZ line. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. Look at this. Eyes are caught immediately at this. It's a satin finish, but you have that black flame look on top, and it's just breathtaking in person. I'm sure the camera's doing a pretty good job of picking it up because I can see it right now, but oh man. I'm pretty sure Scott LePage and Tim Henson are the only ones that have gold hardware in the entire AZ line, which really grinds my gears, man. The Ibanez AZ, the white one, is such a gorgeous guitar. The only thing keeping it from going above and beyond and a little bit over is the fact that it has silver hardware. Just put some gold hardware and knobs on it and it'll be gorgeous. It'll honestly look like a $5,000 guitar when it's already a $2,100, $2,200 guitar. This is my official argument for it. So Ibanez, if you're watching this, please, take it into consideration. When I do my signature model, Ibanez, I would love for it to be white with gold hardware, so thank you. The pickup selection is interesting in this. Kind of a mainstay and a signature aspect of the Ibanez AZ line is that they have the Hyperion pickups that were made for the line. We got two DiMarzio True Velvets, and then we've got a DiMarzio Igno, which is his signature pickup. I really wish I read into that more because they're not bad pickups. They are wonderful sounding pickups. I'm always partial to Seymour Duncan's, and I've never been a massive fan of DiMarzio. They're not bad, it's just my preference. I kind of took the risk on that and didn't really think about it, but they still sound wonderful. We have another Godot built bridge. Much smaller block in the back. The bridge stacks up just as good as the one that's on the Prestige. The knobs. I wanted the gold knobs so badly, and they've got these little rubber pieces that we all see that really feel great. I've already lost one though. I have been playing this guitar a lot. I teach with this guitar every day. Most of my gigs, I'll bring this and the Prestige. I'll most likely play the Prestige, but this is still my backup and sometimes the main guitar for the night. Scott LePage is having a hard time sleeping right now because he heard me just play I Believe in a Thing Called Love by the Darkness on his signature model. We've got a 5-way selector switch and something that's on all the AZ lines but not on this one. We don't have the coil split. I was going into this fully prepared to not have a coil split because on my 24, I rarely use it. I have a 5-way selector and that does the job just fine. I catch myself using a lot of these single coil options and I think they're absolutely brilliant. Very modern. cool because like the Hyperions on the AZ line do a lot very well. This setup is very much a modern setup. They're not your old school Paffy kind of pickups. Can they do some of that? Yeah, of course. You can get some really great bluesy tones out of this. It really sounds awesome. Getting this guitar completely inspires your playing to be just a little bit different, which is kind of cool, and it's always great when you can find an instrument that does that. Had I gotten a normal AZ Premium with this pickup configuration, I kind of would have just had the exact same thing that I have in the other one. As you see in the back, wood grain, gorgeous. Now this is a basswood body as opposed to an ash body. This has pearl inlays. None of the other ones do. And something that I didn't know going into this, all of the signature model AZs, for the most part, are all premiums. I didn't realize that going in. I thought they were just affordably priced prestiges. I was insanely wrong, so just know that. You have the big stainless steel frets. Thank God, that's a must on this guitar. Now, the lumen lays on the side of the neck, these are not lumen lays. These are just stock glow-in-the-dark inlays, which are just fine. You could tell that that's where some of the cost was cut. We've all gotten along just fine without glow-in-the-dark side inlays. I'd rather have them cut costs there than get rid of the stainless steel frets. Graphtec nut works great. We have different locking tuners than the other ones. However, I find these to be insanely easy to use, really, in so many ways. They're so good and they're so quick. The other ones, you need a screwdriver in the front. These you kind of just pop and they're done. You know, something that I really like that I think this should just be stock. It's got the name in pearl inlay. It looks amazing with the gold. Tell me you don't think that this is a prestige when you see it. I don't see why they can't do it on the higher end line. It's a roasted maple neck. It doesn't have the smell of the roasted maple neck like my my Prestige does, but it still feels really great. It's been inside, it's been outside, it's been traveled around. It's doing just fine. It's holding up just great. In a weird way, it has inspired me to be a little bit different of a player and a bit creative. Just like the kid walking into Guitar Center buying a Gibson SG because he loved Angus Young. He's gonna go home, take that guitar in his room, he's gonna try and learn all of Back in Black on his own, and he's gonna do the Angus Young duck walk around his room, and it's going to inspire so much. The creativity level is just going to explode. And this is something that I've experienced in owning this. I'm not even a massive Polyphia fan. I bought the guitar because I liked the guitar. Let me put the ignorance enhancer on, if you will. I think they took some time to put out a nice, slightly lower end guitar that really stacks up to the Pro models. At the same time, if I need to be in a Journey tribute band, then I could totally... And the best part is, his face isn't just like stamped right here. It doesn't say Polyphia here. It doesn't say it anywhere. And that's awesome to me because it makes it a viable option for guitar players to not only be inspired by their favorite guitar player's signature model, but be able to play it on stage and no one really says anything about it, you know? I was playing in a studio and the one guy was a Polyphia fan. And he didn't even know that this was a Scott LePage model. I can admit that I've probably written some of the weirdest riffs I've ever written on this guitar. It does have that kind of power. You know what these guys do. You know what Polyphia does. If you're watching this video, you're a Polyphia fan. That or you really love Ibanez AZs and you considered this one because it looks gorgeous, but you don't want to play someone else's signature model on stage. I'm telling you right now, Ibanez is doing something right with the AZ signature models specifically. They're real great guitars that look good, sound good, play well, and they don't look ridiculous. You know why I wanted this? Because it had gold hardware. That's why I wanted it. Not because I was a Polyphia fan, because it had gorgeous gold hardware, pearl on the headstock. I love pearl on the headstock. Let me know in the comments below if you guys own any signature model guitars that you play out and no one knows it's a signature, because I'm really curious about this. I've done it with Randy Rhoads and Les Pauls and even an Angus Young SG at one point. Some of them are a little harder to get away with. Thank you so much as always for watching. I'm Jimmy Franklin, this is The Working Class Musician. We'll see you next time.